Hello and welcome to Lunchtime News. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. We will dig into it. 5 major rivers in Kasese have burst their banks, causing flooding in the lowlands. Rivers Mobuku, Nyamwamba and Nyamugasaru have caused significant damage. Several bridges and houses have been damaged.
From the Principal's Office, Liberty College of Management and Journalism. We have been overwhelmed by the waters from the floods of River Nyamwamba, and our candidates have been doing examinations for Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board, but the floods have come and they have entered the school compound, the hall, and most of the students are worried. They are afraid, but the situation is coming to normal.
Mayiti omaze kyokoze kati effects yetulaba zebakola zizo amazzi tegayina we gayita ekyo nakyo tugenda kulaba kikwatako naye nga njala okugumya bannayuganda bannakasese nti embeera yennyini nnyo gavumenti egirina mu ngalo era tukimanyi kubanga naffe gavumenti si yagambye enkuba etonye oba amazzi gayitirire kyazze buzinga omuntu gona okwatuka omusujja n'otamanya bwe gukutte naye ogezaako okufuna eddagala eriguwonya paka liguwona gonza amazzi bakke wansi ate n'abeena abali wansi abalaba nti kati baliraanye kuba kati gifuuse gya bulabe nnyo yeyongera bweyongezi okusima n'okwenoonyeza amakubo amalala megayinza okuyita nabo basooke balaba nti abantu wabi bagoberere bannaffe abakulembeze kye banaabagamba n'abakuumaddembe kisobole okuwonya ku bulamu bw'abantu baffe abo abali eyo naye nga njagala okubagumya n'okubakakasa nti gavumenti ekola kyonna ekisoboka kyonna okulaba nti abo abantu abatuukiddwako obuzibu tubayamba era tujja kweyongera okubayamba tusibusa mpaka ng'embeera etereevu.
And government has begun engaging religious leaders across the country to promote ethics and integrity. Permanent Secretary of the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity, Alex Okello, emphasized that religious leaders have a critical role to play in addressing the moral challenges facing Ugandan society.
Speaking at a two-day training for religious leaders from the Madi and West Nile sub-regions, Okello urged them to use their influence to promote a value-based society.
If your motor vehicle tire goes flat, you are not going to take it to the engine mechanic to put your tire right. You get it? You will take it to the mechanic who works on tires. Look here, what has gone wrong in the ethical values? It is human behavior, human mind. Who are the people who can correct the human mind? Who can take the mindset change? We cannot take it to the engineers in UNRWA. that they will make it straight. No. The engineers for our minds are the faith-based institutions, the cultural institutions, who would talk, who would direct the people. So, in this matter, the religious and faith institutions are the best, because whatever they do, their call, as I said, is to make straight people's thinking, people's behavior, and how they can respond to the problems they are having.
The training held at Heritage Courts Hotel in Arua City brought together leaders from Adjumani, Arua, Koboko, Yumbe, Maracha, Moyo, and Arua City. The government's National Physical Development Plan 3 includes a program aimed at changing mindsets to promote development. This program focuses on instilling ethical values such as respect for humanity and the environment, honesty, justice, fairness, hard work, and self-reliance.
When I follow the legacy of Christ, that means I cannot be a thief. I cannot hate a brother or a sister.
Other values include integrity, moral uprightness, creativity, social responsibility, social harmony, national unity, and patriotism.
Corruption cuts across, as you have said, in the church, outside the church. But the role of the church is to check the balance.
In 2013, President Museveni launched the National Ethical Values Policy in response to public concerns about declining moral behavior, unprofessional conduct, and unethical practices in both public and private spheres. The policy aims to promote ethical values and integrity in all aspects of Ugandan life. By engaging religious leaders, the government hopes to tap into their influence and reach a wider audience, promoting a more ethical and responsible society. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And Prime Minister Robinah Nabbanja has said government and its development partners need to identify better alternatives of improving livelihoods of the people in Karamoja other than dishing out iron sheets. Nabbanja says it's unfortunate that the program of providing iron sheets has been mishandled by the beneficiaries themselves. She was speaking at the UNDP offices, head offices in Kampala.
This morning, the Prime Minister, Robinah Nabbanja, paid a courtesy call to the UNDP country office in Kampala, seeking to forge a strong partnership with the UNDP to foster the development agenda, especially to the people of Karamoja. Recently, the Prime Minister's office resumed supplying iron sheets to the Karachunas in Karamoja, and over 97,000 iron sheets were given out. But the Prime Minister said some of the iron sheets are being sold out as low as 5,000 shillings.
Them free handouts, they will not. I'm told an iron sheet in Karamoja is costing, if you want to buy 5,000, they don't see the use. How much did we buy an iron sheet? 60. Somebody is selling it at 5,000.
Nabbanja reminded the country director that when she came into office, she branded the iron sheets, which helped the office of the Prime Minister to track down those that had been diverted.
I had an opportunity to fly over Karamoja, but there is nothing. But I said since 2007 there have been iron sheets. Where are they? Maybe because the few houses I see in Moroto, maybe those are the ones. But there is nothing in the villages.
However, the Executive Director of the National Planning Authority, Dr. Joseph Movawala, said a draft plan for Karamoja has already been developed.
And that one plan right now, the draft is with the PS.
Yes.
We have to interrogate that plan to make sure it is saying exactly what you are saying. And then thereafter, we will require everybody to only finance that.
Nabbanja said there is need to identify better alternatives of livelihoods to the people of Karamoja than dishing out iron sheets to Karamoja. The Prime Minister also had an interaction with the staff of UNDP.
And the Ministry of Education and Sports is concerned about the low learning outcomes across the country. The ministry has convened a 3-day reflection workshop for inspectors in Lira City to forge a way forward to improve learning outcomes in the country.
Over 300 inspectors of schools from Western and Northern region have convened at Dr. Obote College in Lira City to reflect on the low learning outcomes among learners across the country.
Identify if there are still gaps, focus, because you must continuously help people. Because first of all, issues of ICT, these are new issues which not all our people are very well conversant with.
Nationally, you would look at the accountability, mostly it is almost 90%. Use of instruction, you look at it, you say it is almost 86%. But when you look at the outcomes, it is very, very challenging. That's why we are
The Director of Education Standards at Ministry of Education and Sports noted that there is a sharp disparity on the outcomes of assessments done by the inspectors.
Because if there is no teaching, proper teaching in the classroom and there is no learning, then you do not expect good learning outcomes. So we want to refocus. That's why you heard me saying that we need now to carry out more lesson observations. We need to support, and we also need to compel all head teachers to ensure that every teacher at their level must be supervised teaching, because they are the first inspectors.
Is the work being done?
Recently, the ministry rolled out an integrated inspection model to improve the school inspection, although results for learning outcomes still remain problematic.
We hopefully that after this more hands-on training, they will go and do a better job. So really I'm calling that let us be very honest, because as an inspector, you're supposed to write what you have observed.
Lira District Inspector of Schools says the countrywide retooling exercise will enrich inspectors to improve on the quality of learning.
So when you look at our results, the learning achievement is still quite low in this country. I think we are standing at around, national we are standing at around 36% just. That is even below where we are supposed to be. So part of our reflection here is to cross-check that, ask ourselves what exactly is happening. But we don't ask and stop there, we ask and draw strategies so that we fix all these things.
The school's performance assessment of 2023 revealed pertinent issues to deal with to improve quality of learning. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Uganda National Roads Authority, UNRA, has issued a travel advisory diverting traffic from Masindi Para Road following the closure of Karuma Bridge. On the 6th of May, UNRA had announced changes in traffic flow at the bridge crossing after defects were discovered which needed urgent attention.
Following the announcement of May 6th by UNRA, lorries, trailers, trucks and buses from Kampala to Gulu and West Nile region were diverted to use Luwero-Kafu-Masindi Road through Makshan Falls National Park to connect to Pakwach or Gulu via Olweyo and vice versa. But owing to the ecologically sensitive environment along the Masindi Para route, traffic has been diverted. According to UNRA, effective Friday 24th May 2024, all drivers of trailers, lorries and trucks will be required to use Kafu-Masindi Road, branch off from the left to use Hoima Abiso Obolisa Para Road to connect to Pakwach or Gulu via Olweyo.
Very many vehicles are using the park, and yes, definitely, as the number of vehicles have increased in the park, they have come with a lot of challenges, which we are trying to manage together with our sister forces, the police and the army, to make sure that we have a smooth transit of vehicles across the park. Some of these key challenges include waste management. Most of the vehicles passing the park continue to drop waste, and this already calls for more manpower to remove the waste along the road. Secondly, there are road kills. Some of our animals have already started experiencing that because they have been killed, especially the olibies and the cobs have been already killed by the road, the vehicles transiting the road.
The decision is a sigh of relief to some of the tour operators at Makshan Falls National Park.
We're facing a couple of challenges. One of them is litter. The people on the buses just seem to throw all their litter down, and so the side of the road is becoming congested with plastic and non-biodegradable products, which the animals like baboons, because it smells nice, they'll eat it and then they'll have medical problems after that.
According to UNRWA, the alternative route is fully paved and involves a shorter distance of approximately 20 kilometers of travel through the Makshan Falls National Park. Diano Olweny-Peters, UBC News.
And with that, we take a quick break. When we return, more details.
Sigikira mulimo gwenkola gukanikira babakasitoma bukawasobuni kimba n'obwire obukutwala sente isomero ati ncho amukolesa enkola ya MTN mobile money ni migasita 1065 star 8 nintekamu kodi namba y'omwana genda sente nisasola ku luminta ino kuteribanizwa koni katunge esimu kuruga mu MTN bantereire kubantereire okubanza ntakikirize nkaba amanyire bali bafere hanyuma nagenda nakakuza MTN yao nagamba ntungire simu ino kuluga mu MTN kyamazima okuba nkaba ntamanyire nti aliyo promotion hanyuma madamu akola MTN yangambira kyamazima kubasima muno mwebale muno akasente kabaire kenja kusasula school fees tamwe kujja bakasasuire akani nja kasasulira mu bagenzi baye abatabandi mwebale muno.
Together we're unstoppable. Uganda's biggest tourism and travel trade show of the year is here again. The 8th edition of the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate 2024 under the theme Responsible Tourism will be taking place at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo from the 23rd to the 25th of May 2024. It's your chance to connect with tourism and travel professionals from across the globe. Discover travel holiday deals, packages, and so much more. Visit www.poate.co.ug to register and be part of the event. The Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo Poate is brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42, 21 or 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
On business news, government is committed to establishing a robust and well-funded uranium exploration program to accelerate the discovery and development of uranium resources. This revelation was made at the conclusion of the International Atomic Energy Agency Integrated Uranium Production Cycle Review Mission for Uganda.
Government is establishing a regulatory infrastructure necessary for developing the nuclear sector and ensuring a sustainable energy future.
The Ministry already has an active nuclear power development program. We have an entire department of nuclear energy. With about 22, they've now increased nuclear scientists. However, we now need a critical mass that can then run and operate these facilities. So that's why the Center for Nuclear Science and Technology is being set up. The other aspect that the mission has highlighted is financing. Financing of this infrastructure, financing of the uranium exploration program, but also financing of the nuclear energy facilities. So we will continue to think through this with the Minister of Finance.
International Atomic Energy Agency experts recommend the Ugandan side to aim at enhancing the uranium exploration program and discovery of uranium deposits in Uganda.
Conclusion is that there are still some steps that need to be taken in order for the country to be able to discover a deposit and to develop resources, and that was the purpose of the mission here, was basically for the agency and the experts to provide recommendations and suggestions on how the government can best support these activities.
In an effort to speed up the uranium exploration, Government of Uganda will finalize the amendment of the Atomic Energy Act 2008 and prepare the attendant regulation of a successful uranium production.
As we speak, the First Parliamentary Council has already submitted the draft bill, so we are going to go through the process of submission to Cabinet and subsequently to Parliament. So in this act, one of our focus areas will be to strengthen the Atomic Energy Council, who are the regulator, in several ways. Apart from their capacity and competencies, which they continue to develop, there is infrastructure that we continue to support them to put in place. There is a station.
There has been a call for innovative financing, such as climate financing and bilateral financing in the Uranium Exploration Initiative. Marion Awori and Juman Samba for UBC.
And in sports, Uganda is set to host the Africa Rugby Cup. The newly refurbished Nambole Stadium is the designated venue. The Africa Rugby Union was part of the 2024 tournament launch on Wednesday night.
When Uganda secured rights to host the Africa Rugby Cup, preparations to have a successful event started. This involved assembling a well-prepared team that would compete against the likes of Kenya, Ivory Coast and Algeria, who are among the best on the continent. To show readiness, Uganda Rugby Union launched the 2024 Africa Rugby Cup, with Nambole Stadium designated as the official host venue. Parliamentary Chief Whip Honorable Hamson Oboa, who represented government, highlighted government's willingness to support the games that start on the 20th of July for the entire week, with teams expected to arrive on the 18th of the same month to start with the captain's run.
You have the support of Government of Uganda, and as you are aware, our resource envelope towards supporting sports is becoming better and better every year. And we hope and pray that the game of rugby that has demonstrated capacity of bringing gold at international level, at the continental level, at the regional level, at the national level, will remain one of the core and priority sports for funding from Government of Uganda. I'd like to, in a very special way, thank the government of Uganda for providing a good atmosphere to allow the sports to thrive beyond Uganda and beyond the continent Africa. We thank the government of Uganda for creating the security and the ambience to allow the Rugby Africa and the World Rugby to grant us the right to host as a country.
Uganda Rugby Union President Godwin Changwe mentioned of key partners including Nile Boys, who have been pivotal in ensuring that Uganda hosts a successful event. The Rugby Africa Cup that dates back to 2000 brings together the best rugby teams in Africa. Those to compete in this year's edition include Namibia, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Kenya, Zimbabwe, and others.
And former Ugandan Olympic Committee President William Bleak met with a group of teenagers at Uganda Olympic offices in Lugogo to advise them on balancing education and sports and how to utilize opportunities through acquiring scholarships.
On Wednesday, May 22nd, at the Uganda Olympic offices in Lugogo, former Ugandan Olympic President William Bleak advised the youth on ways to balance their studies, sports, and how to acquire scholarships to benefit their career paths.
I have so many things I'd like to do, but I zero down on what I can accomplish with my time and my ability, but only concentrate on what develops you as an individual. You either use your ability to get a scholarship intellectually, or you use sport, or if you're lucky, government can sponsor you.
William explained that life is about gaining experiences through persistence to achieve success.
So it's about being persistent. It's about taking your own time to do extra work for yourself. Does anyone know Cristiano Ronaldo? He's one of the most famous footballers in the world. He earns more money than any other player. But Cristiano trains harder than anyone because he goes an extra mile to make himself better.
Furthermore, he also encouraged youth to specialize in a sport before it's too late.
But you need to specialize. You need to specialize and concentrate on one sport. And you go for it.
This was the third Teenagers Talk of this year for students from various high schools in Uganda who attended this holiday program, which helps teach them life lessons in various ways.
I'm happy to have the third Teen Talk hosted at the Uganda Olympics Committee, where young people come to share, to learn, to challenge themselves, but also come up with homegrown solutions to the issues they are facing. One thing that I've realized is young people have talents, sports, entrepreneurship, so they can do a lot. Today we had many of them sharing the kind of things that they're doing to earn some little money to start off. So we believe that 10 years, 5 years from now, they become serious entrepreneurs in Uganda. And we need to guide them, we need to support them to achieve their full potential.
Marsha Mira Victor, UBC News.
Faith, love, miracles. International evangelist Daniel Kolenda, successor Reinhard Bonke, and a team of associate evangelists will preach at 7 gospel crusades from June 12th to 23rd. Powerful divine deliverance from bondages, yokes, and curses. Salvations, family restorations, and miraculous healings. Kampala, Hoima, Busia, Lida, Ikanga, Gulu, and Bale. This is your time. Come and receive your miracle. love miracles. International evangelist Daniel Kolenda, successor Reinhard Bonke, and a team of associate evangelists will preach at 7 gospel crusades from June 12th to 23rd. Powerful divine deliverance from bondages, yokes, and curses. Salvations, family restorations, and miraculous healings. Kampala, Hoima, Busia, Lida, Iganga, Gulu, and Bale. This is your time. Come and receive your miracle.
Welcome back. You are still watching Lunchtime News. I am Rhoda Ngonzi, and with me in studio is Ruben Comway, an evangelist. You've probably seen these billboards or adverts going around about a crusade, Faith, Love, Miracles. And this is organized by Ministry of Christ for All Nations. Welcome, Ruben.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Good to have you. Faith, Love, and Miracles. Expound on that.
So we want to see this nation changed, and we believe that faith is the only way. And we want to see this, we want to see it blessed by love, because God is love, and He loves every single one of you. And we want to also see miracles, because when we preach God's word, that's what happens. Miracles happen.
Are miracles real?
Oh yes, 100%. I mean, we were last year in Zambia preaching. We did 11 of these campaigns, and we saw people lifting up their wheelchairs, lifting up their crutches, no longer needing them because of the power of Jesus Christ. He's still the same yesterday, today, and forever.
So the evangelist that will be preaching at these at the crusades across the country is evangelist Daniel Kolenda.
Yes, so he'll be preaching at every crusade at least for one night, but he's also trained 2 other evangelists who will also be preaching at every other night. So each of the crusades are 5 nights in total, and so four nights, 2 of the other evangelists, and 1 night for Daniel Kolenda.
So he also trains evangelists?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
In America, and that's where I was trained, in fact, in Florida, America, with Daniel Kolenda and by the ministry of CFAN.
You told me earlier when I asked if miracle is real, and you said yes. Give me one outstanding miracle that has happened at one of these crusades elsewhere in the world.
So I was in Ghana, and we were preaching the gospel and preaching this healing message. And this woman, she had her baby 8 years ago, and there was some complications in the pregnancy. She could not carry anything since that day, and but she was completely healed when we prayed and we spoke Jesus over her. And she's carried her baby in her arms for the first time in her whole 8 years of this baby's life. And she's carrying, now he was a child, but she's carrying an 8-year-old in her arms in tears. And it always, I can still picture her face, her weeping like tears to the fact that she could finally carry her child. That's our God, that's who Jesus is.
Where is this crusade going to happen? On which dates? Where can people come?
So they're happening in 7 different locations here in Uganda, in Busia, Lira, and Hoima in the first week, which is June 12th to 16th. And they're also happening in Kampala, Gulu, in Mbale, forgive my Mzungu pronunciation, Mbale, Iganga in the second week on June 19th to 23rd.
Are people paying to come for this? Because usually when miracles are promised, people will do anything to come. So are people paying for this, or is it something, since God is love, it's freely given?
It is exactly that, freely given. No cost, no offerings are being taken during these crusades. We just want you to come as you are, and expect God to touch your life.
Why Uganda?
Why Uganda? Oh, it is the pearl of Africa. And God, Jesus tells a story where a man sells everything to go buy back a pearl. And that's how I feel like. That's why we're here in Uganda. Jesus is willing to sell everything. We've come, we haven't took a penny off Uganda, CFAN, but we've come to just pour into Uganda, give everything we've got to bless this nation, because it is a wonderful nation.
And what do you see happening in Uganda after this crusade? Is there going to be a significant, say, moral change or spiritual change within the nation?
I know God done it so many times in the past, Zambia, Ghana, that when the gospel is preached, people start to repent, start to turn from their old ways. Brothels start to close. People who are living in destitute, living in hopelessness, they get set free and they get to be blessed, and people who have broken bodies completely restored. And that just changes a whole nation, because how can you not believe in God? How can you not take everything more seriously when God is watching? And so we believe that this is really going to change your nation.
Is this, you've mentioned Zambia, Zimbabwe? Did you mention that?
Zambia, we've been
Ghana,
to. Ghana.
Uganda, is it just for African countries or is it elsewhere in the world?
It is everywhere. I mean, our namesake is not a joke. We don't say Christ for all nations and not mean it. I did some work in Philippines, in Asia, just not too long ago. And even England, where I'm from, we were having a crusade of, not as many, but still quite a large number, about 8,000 people showed up at this English crusade. So we believe in every part of the world.
And just for emphasis for our watchers, our audience, why should someone attend this crusade?
Well, whatever you're going through, if you have no hope, or if you do have hope, you'll encounter the living, true God, Jesus Christ. And He will touch your life, He'll change it for the better. I've never seen Him once ruin someone's life. He's not like that. So if you come, you'll encounter something that will